everyone, and really we live that tagline, business with soul. So what are you doing every day, not just to make money, but what are you doing to impact the lives of others? Because a business that doesn't impact people's lives, when I say others, your staff, your colleagues, your vendors, everybody. I mean, I see business owners go out there, abuse their vendors, be ugly to their vendors because they're buying from them, they think they can call the shots. You know what? What you put out there is what you get. I live by that. So if you get really negative clients in your life showing up, you might wonder how you treat your vendors is probably how people are treating you. Really interesting. So that's what we live by. I live by the statement of business with soul, purely because I've been through enough businesses watching people chase the mighty dollar. We live by a slogan of Make and Mark: when you focus on people, so when you focus on money, you'll have dollars to count. When you focus on people, you'll have countless dollars. Really, really important. So you start to really think about things, think things through. So my goal today was to talk about networking, but I thought let's get the people to really know each other first, understand what we're doing. So I'm going to divide you into two groups. I think we're around 12 people in the room. So there's two.
We've got 12 including you.
8, 9, 10, 11, which is good. We'll do 6 and 5. We'll get Anne to join in one of the groups. So what I'd like to do is, so let's make it. Sorry, I can't remember your first name.
Sandro.
Sandro. So Sandro, this side of the table, so one with Sahel. You guys join this side, and you guys join this side. There's a comedian out there that says, the early bird gets the worm. And then he added a nice line to it that said, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Okay? So I want you to relate this back to your businesses and what you do in business. So this group here, I want you to put a presentation together just between you of being the early bird. Okay, why it's great to be the early bird in business. And this group, I want you to be the second mouse gets the cheese. So for those of you who don't know what I mean by the second mouse gets the cheese, well obviously the first one gets caught in the trap and the cheese is left for the second one to come and take the cheese. So I want you to come up with a small little presentation. So you just want to get into a little huddle, a little group, and then tell us why your strategy is by far the best. Make sense? Yep. I wanted to get you to network a little bit too, get to know each other, which is really cool as well. So off you go. You have 5 minutes.
Should we take over that table over there? Or I think we can. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe they will.
I'll come join you if that's all right.
Okay. Topic, how you doing?
Good. So ours is why earlier as the worm is I guess is the advantageous situation to be in over people watching.
You want to present this to everyone, by the way?
Sure. Okay.
So give me a second here. So what I'd like you to do is have one person be the scribe and write down notes why your strategy is the best. Why your strategy is the best. And please make sure that everyone contributes. That everyone contributes, not just a couple of people dominating. So bring everybody into the discussion.
Are you going to be
scribe, but then understand one is supposed to be I'll scribe.
Oh, you scribe.
I can be my own scribe.
You guys this entire group.
So we got the early bird.
I'm going to have trouble with this one because I honestly don't really think that it is that the early bird gets to worm the early bird.
Oh, really?
Well, the early bird gets to be like the firstborn, like I was, and plow the parents before they into easily run fields from the siblings behind.
Well, we get to be the pioneers. Like, don't forget, we get to be the pioneers.
Yeah, but the pioneers usually die on the way.
Well, of course, depends on position. You have to defend that position.
So let's look at the positive side of it.
Well,
So being the pioneers is good in many ways.
Thinking about
Because remember, the first donkey gets to have a different view all the time.
Doesn't smell like ass.
What's the best way to get to a landmine?
into the business, you don't read
Around it?
No, be the last one.
I'd cost you an arm and a leg, but it's okay.
So we have to do the first one.
The positive side of being the first early bird.
Okay, so we're being recognized as a pioneer and create awareness.
Well, you set the
I
standards.
have no idea.
I mean, think about. I know it's kind of a cliche, but Apple.
If anything, you push the standards up.
Yeah.
But then, Apple's an exceptional case because they managed to hang on too, and they didn't get plowed under.
And I mean, even now, I mean, they still sell, you know, at a higher price than everyone else, and people still buy it. Why? Because they were the first ones, and they set the standard for everyone else. So it's kind of like, in a way, we set the bar for everyone else to follow. So it's leadership. Leadership, exactly.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is there's a definite internal pride that happens, right? Because you're the path. You know, you're the first there. If you're the pioneer, you're leading the path, and you can look back on that and say, we're the ones that did this, right? You see all the other copycats coming out. You know, we're the ones that founded it. We're the ones that
Establish the standards, the foundations.
Yeah.
You can get advice
the
from
networks
someone,
and the partnerships.
one person.
There's a coach that I truly admire. His name is Brendan. I've talked about
I've seen it
a long time, but
Sometimes you can
what he says is, like what you just mentioned, like I mean, we're creators, and we're creating all the time, and then copycats will come along, and then it's like, oh, but then they'll take over your business. No, because if you're always the first one, you're always creating, you always stay ahead, no matter how many people come and copy your
I think the
ideas,
adage,
your
business
products,
adage speaks
whatever.
better to, you know, second most comes in, picks up the pieces. So you've got the
How about
first guy
yourself?
came in
How about
and
yourself?
hit the wall
I
at
think
900.
I think we're
And all this
pioneering that
stuff is
area
scattered.
that
They've
has been
learned,
dealt
they
with.
can kind of learn it out.
Drilled
That's,
into deep
I
enough,
think,
and that's
more of
where
what it
pension
refers to.
or investment
And
management
for,
as far as
having had some
retirement
experience
assets
with
are
both sides of it.
I've got a self-published book called Pension
There's a
Paradise,
tremendous amount of
which drills
dynamics,
further into
right?
the
A faithful
truthfulness
quote
of
that
pensions, and I'm
I've come out
talking
of business
about
with Mark
defined
Twain said,
benefit
ain't stuff you don't know leaves you trouble. It's the stuff that you know that just that you
useful
know.
information out there right
And there's a
now
whole
that
lot of
really
things in
drills in.
business that
So
you can
really
have
nails what these
an
things are,
incredible
and
amount
that's
of
what we're,
information,
I
incredible
think,
amount of
pioneering
experience.
that.
You can be a fast
Bring
follower and still
that
have
fortress
and
to the table to really disclose
call it a
how it
vertical
really
learning
works
curve.
and how
I'd
it's
still
really
find out
serious.
that the first
And you become the
young
expert.
bird hit the
Well,
ball still well
I
short
think I'm
of
going
all
to be a
of the
leading
ends.
expert because nobody else
So,
is attacking them.
You know, I said there's a whole bunch of dynamics.
So how would we summarize that for this? Probably like and then there's
You do me any thought about it?
Yeah, we're missing one person.
You understand this, the metaphors?
Yes, yeah.
so basically the establishment of truth. I mean, like
That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Establishment of truth.
Yeah.
Yes. Truth in and value in what the message is. And the message is very skewed. It's not in the favor of the member who actually contributed the money to the pool. So this is a big disconnect that I'm pioneering now in discovery and disclosure.
Then you get an idea how
Yeah, maybe just like
if he's talking to someone else.
discovery is probably better. Discovery is probably a better way to put that. Yeah.
Better way to put what?
To put
Then you
what
get
Ralph's
that.
point is here, where you're
Discovery, yeah,
you're you know just just
Kind
like
of unveiling.
it's research and development really. It's unveiling, discovery, R&D.
Could it be unveiling as well?
Yeah,
Kind of like
yeah.
unveiling.
Pull back the shroud of secrecy.
There you go.
That's what we're intending to do. Good. We're getting some help with the Vancouver Sun articles.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of articles in there about
Another great book
pensions,
called
and,
Move.
that's
Yeah, it's
what we're
absolutely
always
interesting.
doing.
Yeah.
So we're Vancouver Sun is helping me raise the awareness
We're getting a corporate role.
and
Absolutely.
bringing the perpetrators to the
The
table.
next one is Blue Ocean Strategy.
How about you, Ricky? What do you do?
I'm actually more of that goes over there. I'm not a really good. That's why I have a breakfast at 9:30 as opposed to 7. Yeah, that's
What are your thoughts? If you were,
I actually do think it's advantageous to be earlier because I think you're setting the example, setting the bar high. So I think basically what everyone said already, but it's setting the parameter for
They use
excellence.
a big example. They use
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil.
You know, even for meetings, you know, there's the person there, I
No one's
think,
starting up
has the
circuses.
power
They said,
over the meeting.
Kids aren't
Because, you know, you're already there, you're relaxed, and the person comes in later. I think they almost like, at a
circus was dying.
I don't know if it's a power dynamic, but I think it's just like
blah, blah, blah. So
I don't know how to phrase it.
I think in the case where you know you do show up late, and I'm not making any comments here. It's
They
just
have a genre now.
you feel a bit of
knows
guilt,
what to
and
call it.
that
And
shows
that shows, yeah.
Yeah.
20 years.
So even just in a meeting to show up the first, you get the word
That's a great book.
about that.
and you get to even take a look at the
There's
room,
a audio
like
like
where you're gonna be sitting, kind of like where you get the best view,
I had a problem
and
with
you feel
that
more
too.
comfortable. A lot of times you feel comfortable about the place.
And just the fact that you've chosen put you in a position of leadership over that other person.
Exactly.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Because we've got a couple of really good, or a number of good ideas going around. So let's get the early bird to present why it's better to be the early bird.
Okay, so why is it better to be being the early bird? Involves a lot of recognition. It's also leadership because you're basically you're delving into new things. You are obviously a leader in the field or whatever it is that you're doing. You will be setting the standards along the way. You're creating a whole new whatever it is that you're working on, and that can instill a sense of pride. You will by default be the expert in the field, and you are discovering and unveiling new truths and realities. So that's what we have so far.
Great. Give them a round of applause. That's great. Good job, man.
Can I add
Well
one
done.
thing?
Okay.
I just wanted to add one thing to that. This is very fitting, actually.
Sure.
Leonardo da Vinci said, "Life is pretty simple. You do some stuff, most fails. Some works. You do more of what works. If it works big, others quickly copy it. Then you do something else. The trick is the doing something else." Because we're very forward thinking. We're trying to be as creative as possible. We're the leaders, so we're always out maneuvering anybody who's copying us, and that's another benefit of being the early bird.
That's
Cool.
interesting.
Good job.
Social evolution.
Good job. Let's go to this side. Why is it good to be the second mouse?
The first mouse has to invest time, make mistakes, and invest energy. The second mouse can pretty much just come right in and learn from that without investing so much. Second mouse, second opinion. Somebody can consult the first mouse, but going to the second mouse, the second mouse can take what the first mouse said, add more value, and build a stronger trust relationship. And the second mouse can come and pick up the pieces of where the first mouse hits the wall. And standing on the shoulders of giants, you can see further with someone else leading the way. You can kind of have a better perspective at being the second mouse.
Good job. Give them a round of applause as well. There's the opposite to that too, though. Remember what we said earlier? The first donkey gets to have the changed view. All the donkeys behind get the same view. So it's really interesting. Really, really interesting. So here's the thing. Which strategy is the right strategy?
Depends on which one's
They both are.
Yeah, both are. Depends on the situation. Depends on what business, what environment you're in. There's no right or wrong in either strategy. It's a matter of when you use which strategy for what purpose. It's really, really important. So let's just get into a little bit about networking. Networking for me is about connecting with people. And if you want to take notes during this, you can, because I'll give you some really key pieces of information as we go through this. For Derek, it'll be a little bit of a refresher on some of the stuff, which is good too. So at Make Your Mark, we divide networkers, people that go out. How many of you do a lot of networking? We've had a networking group here. How many do a lot of it? To me, there's a difference between networking and effective networking. Okay. And effective networking for me, and the reason why I say this, I train people in networking. We have a program called Exposure Warrior where we train people in networking purely because most people don't grow their businesses through networking. They grow small and systematically, but they don't get the big volume of growth that they should have through networking, because your time is valuable when you go out networking. So your pure intention, depending on the group you belong to, but for most groups, you're going out to grow your business. When you bear it right down, you're growing. You want to grow your income. That's why you go networking. Depending on if it's for your business, that's what it would be for. If it's for personal, different story. You're going out to grow relationships. But your networking is, yes, grow relationships, but you're there to grow your business. When you really bury it down, majority of people in this room are here to grow professionally, but to grow their business as well. So understanding effective networking is very, very important. So some of the key things when you go out networking, how many of you put out an intention before you came here today of what you want to get from the event today? Isn't it amazing? We just go out and say, I'm going to go to a coffee shop or a restaurant and hang out. Meet the guy. Breakfast. Food. Okay.
We're all
so
hungry.
what's your intention before you go? I mean, my goal, my intention is, I divide into two. Number one, when I meet people,